About these issues that try to set peer norms about prevention.
We've done a lot of work with bystanders. So looked at different bystanders and different social justice issues. But we're very interested in evaluating our bystander model. And so we had a seminar today where we invited 3 examples who had done evaluations, and we really wanted to learn not only the lessons from the program but also the lessons from the evaluations, so that we could go into it and get an outcome which didn't make some of the mistakes that could have, so easily been made. We are developing an intervention which is not new, which builds on our 20 years of work, but which tries to define different roles for bystanders. So bystanders is not only stopping someone being violent, it's being proactive and taking a preventative role in establishing gender norms. It's speaking out when people use language that denigrates and which contributes towards sexual harassment. On the program today, we had Sonke Gender Justice, whose program is called One Man Can, which has had 3 different kinds of evaluations.
What we bring to the university, I think there is a lot of work to do in terms of prevention, particularly with men. I think we just leave it too all to women. Gender issues is not only about women. Violence against women is not about women only. You have to do work with men, particularly for prevention purposes, which I think to me is key. A lot of the work of Sonke is about prevention. It's about for the state, for the communities, for the country, what it means to respond to violence is tremendous in psychological terms, financial terms. So you have to do a lot of prevention. You have to change cultural norms, and that's what we try to do with our work. So I think our experience, it can be key in terms of how you engage with your male students in campus.
The second project was called Sasa. It was based in Uganda, and it was evaluated by colleagues from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and they have a very interesting finding around community change for gender-based violence prevention.
A very well-designed trial, cluster randomized trial looking at community level attitudes around violence, and then did behavior change. The community activists don't get paid, we've just learned, which is enormously exciting. I don't know how well that will fly in different contexts, but in a university context it might well fly, because students are often hungry for volunteer opportunities, and so I think there's an enormous amount of transferability. You can imagine community activists in different floors of reses, for instance, different societies on campus, different classes, spreading the word about gender-based violence.
The third project is actually the one we've drawn on the methodology of the most, which is by Victoria Banyard, which actually her and her team developed a bystander intervention scale for measuring levels of bystander intervention in gender-based violence. And of course she'd been involved in a number of programs and in measuring different kinds of interventions, and really advised us around the length of our intervention and the types of questions we could be asking, which would help us understand the longevity of prevention, because it isn't a one-off thing. It's something which will take a lot of follow-up to keep it maintained.
This kind of program is important at a university, I think, is twofold. There's an enormous amount of violence against women that happens on college campuses. And so we need to intervene. But the other is that we have young people at a time when they are beginning to explore what it means to have intimate partnerships to have intimate partners, and to have that kind of relationship. And we have an opportunity when they come to campus to shift their attitudes, to shift their behaviors towards something that is empowering for women and for men, and then to send them out from university with what I would say are appropriate attitudes for our society, not condoning violence against women and actively combating it. And if we can do that, then we are working with our primary community to transform it.
We are running a program. Our first intervention of the bystander model will be in 4 mixed residences. So we're going to put up posters. We're going to want students who volunteer to be part of the bystander intervention program, and they would be volunteering to be researched, so to be followed up for a 6-month period at different intervals, so we can understand how the intervention interacts within their daily lives. What are their opportunities for speaking out against gender norms that are worrying? What are their opportunities for intervening in potentially violent situations or in things that we know fuel violence, such as what are the steps in their monitoring people around them or their own alcohol use? So I think step number 1 is for students to be wanting to participate in the project and to help us learn what it is that we can be teaching UCT students around gender-based violence and alcohol's contribution to violence